Hi, I'm Zach Dora.
And I'm Tyler Simpson.
All right. Well, Tyler, we had a bit of a busy weekend this weekend. Um, we went to the Sussex County Lincoln Day brunch, and we got to meet pretty cool people there. It was kind of cool to go see. Obviously, we're both involved in politics, so it's a lot of the normal people we see there. We saw Dawn, we saw Mike, Joe was there, our chairman, obviously, and it's cool to see Alex Zidane kind of announce his candidacy for U.S. Senate, right?
Yeah, I mean, he was really nice to talk to, and even probably the biggest guest of all that no one even realizes, Abe Lincoln. The Abe
True.
Lincoln showed up.
True. Abe is so last year. Abe is actually my favorite person to see every single year. He looks legit, and it's definitely you see impersonators sometimes, and it's just like they're impersonating someone, except he's actually like 6'6". He's actually genuinely almost the same height as Abraham Lincoln actually was.
I'm not even kidding. If you took a black and white photo of him, I would think it was the real Abe Lincoln.
100%. Yeah, and he sounds like him too.
Yeah, I was gonna say he had the speech down.
Yeah,
he had like all the mannerisms. It was really cool to see.
Did you get a copy of his book either last year or this year?
No, I didn't go last year. I had to work.
I had last year. I got a copy of his book. It was hand signed, and his book is a biography about his I think it's his great grandfather or great great grandfather. But he was one of the sculptors for Mount Rushmore, and his great great grandfather or something like that did the sculpting for Abraham Lincoln.
Wow.
And that's he was, and the whole thing about that was he was, talking about it, but he felt that his grandfather didn't get enough recognition, and he's barely in the National Archives and all these things, but he was one of the lead sculptors in it. And it's a really cool book. He actually signed it for me, and I got a picture with him last year. So not the flex, but I got a picture with the 16th president of the United States.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people our age don't get those kind of opportunities.
No, actually,
2000.
Yeah, no, seriously, those of us were born in the 21st century.
Yeah.
But and that was a terrible joke, but it's okay.
We're good for a few of those.
Yeah, exactly. No, but that was. Have you ever been to Philadelphia and met Benjamin Franklin?
No, I've been to Philadelphia, but I haven't met Benjamin Franklin.
Okay, next time you're in Philly, or if we go to Philly, we have to go see Ben Franklin. He came to. We were in an event with Americans for Prosperity, one of our our partnering organization, Jersey First. And they had it at the National Constitution Center. They're doing an America 250 event, just celebrating, cool things about America. They actually had the Ruthless podcast on there as well, which I guess is, pretty large podcast throughout the country. But I thought it was really cool because they had Benjamin Franklin there. And it was like, he came up to me. He was asking me all these different things. I you know me, I'm a history nerd myself, man. And I was asking him some serious questions about not even Revolutionary War. We're talking pre-Revolutionary War. Him swimming across the whole story is when he was 17 years old, he went in a ferry across the Delaware to Philadelphia, but the ferry ended up capsizing because there was so many people on it, and I think a couple people actually died from drowning. It was crazy.
Oh, wow.
But he survived because he swam to the shore. But half the people on there didn't survive because of all their heavy coats and different things. I might have even been during the winter. Don't quote me on that one though. But
that's even more impressive.
Oh yeah, dude, this is the early 1700s in going from New Jersey to Pennsylvania on a ferry.
I mean, back then you had the common cold, and for some people that was it.
Yeah, pretty much. But no, Benjamin Franklin swam through. So I was asking him about that. He's like, yeah, I'm a good swimmer. It's
yeah, I mean, I guess so.
I guess so. Yeah. Have you ever swam in the Delaware, out by us in Sussex?
I swam in the river, not the bay.
Okay. If you ask some state legislators, that's the Bay of New Jersey now.
Claimed.
Yes. But no, I remember when I was in Boy Scouts, we did a kayaking trip. We did a rafting trip down the Delaware in August. So it was a low. The water levels were pretty low. But even when I was jumping in, it has dual currents up by us. So it has the top current, but then has an undercurrent that could suck you in underneath it, even up by us, like where it's still not super deep.
Yeah.
And it was strong. It took my shoe off.
Oh yeah. Yeah. When I was in the Scouts, we did the same thing. We would do a canoeing trip in September every year around Labor Day weekend. It was the same thing. I mean, there was one time where our canoe got stuck on one of the rocks, and we're sitting at a 45-degree angle, and we used our weight, maneuvered around, and thankfully we didn't fall in or tip over because we had all the food. So.
that would have been a rough trip after that.
Yeah, it would have felt really bad. We would have had no sandwiches or anything.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I mean, Benjamin Franklin himself as the impersonator, as I'll put it, it literally was him. He came up to me and goes, "Oh, you have a beard. Are you a pirate?" And I was like, well, no. And he's like, sir, have I marqueed you as a have I marqueed you yet? And of course, that was a very, was it beginning of this year, end of last year? The federal government wanted to marquee people to fight against drug traffickers in the Gulf of Mexico. And they were going to turn them into privateers. He's like, sir, I'm pretty sure he is. I'm like, Mr. Franklin, sir, you have marqueed me as a privateer. And he's like, good. Making sure. And I was like, yes, sir, we're taking plenty of British gold. And he's like, fantastic. And then he was like, yeah, don't spend it on don't spend it on too much beer, basically. Turned around and walked away because Mike dropped me. I was like, whoa.
He didn't bring his kite with him, right?
No, but there was a lady wearing a red coat, and he just turns around and screams and points, red coat. The funniest thing ever.
I love when the impersonators really take their job seriously. It's super entertaining and super fun to watch.
Yeah, no, he was fun to interact with. Like, he brought history alive, and it was really cool. Same thing with our Abe Lincoln that we had at the event. So, no, quick shout out there. We're gonna put in a shout out for our video series that we did on Instagram. It's going to be going up on TikTok soon. Bridging the Gap NJ on TikTok and Bridging the Gap Jersey First TV on Instagram. Tyler did quite a few good interviews. You want to talk about them a little bit?
Yeah. We had 4 interviews. We from the local, county, and state level, and actually federal level in terms of candidacy. So yeah, no, it was cool. We interviewed. The event was in Opakong. We interviewed Rachel Rodriguez, Jen Johnson. Both of them are councilwomen in the borough of Opakong. Rachel said that if she was president, she would make it mandatory that everybody owns a puppy.
I mean, you can't really argue with that, can you? Like, unless you're a cat person, but like my girlfriend. But everyone likes puppies.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, if that was her executive order, I feel like I would have to oblige. I would have to buy a puppy, maybe 2.
I mean, hey, you know what? Even if they're giving out the puppies, they'll take one.
Yeah. And then we interviewed Commissioner Chris Carney. His favorite president, I think, was also Reagan. Seemed to be one of the popular ones.
Yeah, I think that's also that Gen X group, though, as a whole. Like, even John Azariti, I'm gonna put him in Gen X. Dr. Assemblyman John Azariti, as I like to call him, or John. As I've had a few years with him now, working in the state legislature, but they all were, excluding Alex Zidane. I'm pretty sure they all said that they liked Ronald Reagan. But I think there's just kind of, it's like how, when we were 16 years old, we had Donald Trump show up, and he came out of nowhere. Ronald Reagan also came out of nowhere too. So I think it's similar path in that regard.
Yeah, I mean, Alex, he brought up Teddy Roosevelt, and he's another great, iconic president too.
Well, Tyler, who's your favorite president?
Oh, well, there's so many to possibly go through, but one that comes to mind that's really underrated, not talked about, is James Polk.
Interesting.
I mean, he was a 7-term House representative, 2 terms as Speaker of the House, and during the Democratic Convention for president in, I believe it was 1840 or 1844, he didn't want the job. He was trying to become vice president. You had James Buchanan there, Martin Van Buren. And it's similar to what happened to James Garfield, if anyone's seen the Garfield Netflix documentary. They ended up electing him as a compromise, and he was not happy because he wanted to be the vice president, and what do you know? He was the Democratic nominee for president.
Yeah.
And he won, and he was so angry. He said, "I'm not running for 2 terms. I'm running for 1." and I don't care what anyone says. No one can buy me. I'm doing what I want. And he did what he wanted.
There you go. I mean, nothing is cooler than that at the end of the day, you know?
Yeah.
Do you know we have a president from New Jersey?
Yeah, I think I know him.
Yeah.
Good old Woodrow Wilson.
No, Woodrow Wilson's not from New Jersey.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So he was born in Virginia.
Okay.
So yeah, they base off of where you're born for these things. And
based on birth, yes.
Yeah, which is kind of weird sometimes. And I think Virginia has the most amount of presidents. I think they're Ohio's second.
Yeah.
Which is weird to come from when you think about it, because like most of the population is like at the time, you know, starting off in the beginning of the country. Obviously, it's all the coastline, and Virginia has a big population center, but also simultaneously, you had New York and you had, you know, Philadelphia and you had New Jersey and like Massachusetts with all, you know, we had decent population centers. But it's crazy that to think that Virginia, and then it's Ohio. It's like,
well, Ohio, it was a lot in the 1800s too.
Yeah.
I think Garfield. I think he was from Ohio. I know.
No, but our boy that I'm talking about from New Jersey, he's a man born in Essex County, although I don't think it was Essex County at the time. Caldwell, New Jersey resident. Grover Cleveland. One term president, 2-term president. No, he yes, it was 2-term president, but he's the only president to serve 2 non-consecutive terms. Is that true?
It was true until last year.
True until last year, yeah. I was about to say I don't remember that. I'm pretty sure that got broken. Yeah, 2 non-consecutive terms. He was the 22nd and 24th president of the United States. Woodrow Wilson was born in Virginia, but he was also the president of Princeton and governor of New Jersey before he became president. And apparently he's buried in Grover Cleveland specifically was buried in Princeton Cemetery. So
really
cool. Yeah.
Well, it's funny too because there's a state park after Grover Cleveland. Yeah, in Caldwell, Grover Cleveland Historical State Park.
Oh yeah, that's his house.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's not much of a park. It's not but it's crossing. But it's a. I didn't know that. So I have a buddy who works with the Park Service, and his uncle was telling him about the park, so he went over there and checked it out one day.
That's cool.
Yeah, pretty cool. I like the presidential parks.
We should take a trip there for celebrating when we do America 250. We should go there and talk about it. It'd be kind of fun.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I went to school in Trenton, so I had 2 battlefield sites. I had Washington's Crossing, which was about 10 minutes from my house. Yeah. Really cool area on the Pennsylvania and the New Jersey side. And then Princeton Battlefield was right down the road as well.
Yeah. No, I drive every single time I go down to Trenton for work. I pass Washington's Crossing, going down through Ewing and Hopo Township, technically, and then into Ewing.
Right on 31.
I literally drive down 31 on past the battlefield, then make a right at the intersection where the state park police are headquartered, and then I make a right onto River Road, and then make River Road all the way down.
Yeah, it's honestly it's probably one of my favorite state parks.
Yeah,
I'm a big outdoor enthusiast. I love our parks.
I know. Yeah. How long did you work at Stokes for?
I was there for 3 years.
Okay, a couple summers.
It was fun. I worked 2 summers, and then when I got my full-time job after school, I worked there on Saturdays.
That's sick. I mean, Stokes, how far away is it's like 20 minutes from you?
From me? No, it's like 40.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I mean, I know you're at the very bottom of the county.
Yeah, straight up 206.
Yeah. Straight up 206. You go straight down 206, you hit Trenton too. So
yeah.
It's crazy to think about that.
That's the way I'd go down there. I'd make 2 turns. I'd go 206, which goes into 202, and then I'd make a right and go on 31. I lived on 31.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, because I was about a mile from TCNJ campus.
Nice. Okay. So super easy.
Yeah.
So did you see anything? Did you see the Olympics this past couple of days? I saw today that the U.S. Men's hockey team won gold today.
Yeah, I think it was the women's team.
Was it the women's team? Oh my gosh!
I think they beat Canada.
They beat. We beat Canada.
Bragging rights.
Right then and there. American hockey is the best. You heard it, ladies and gentlemen.
It's confirmed now.
It is confirmed now.
That being said, we are second right now in the medal race. Norway is first.
Well, okay.
But they have they have an advantage. I feel like it's always winter there, especially in the northern part of the.
Yeah, pretty much. That's true.
They get a head start.
No, Team USA. Also, I feel like the Winter Olympics are not watched as much in the United States for some reason, which is so weird because, like, have you ever been to Lake Placid?
Yeah, I've been up
Yeah,
there. I haven't been skiing, but I've been up there.
Well, I mean, I used to go up there during summertime. A couple, my great grandfather had a motel about 35 minutes south of there in Long Lake,
Nice.
New York. So I'd spend a couple weeks up there in the summertime growing up, and we'd go up to Lake Placid because it's like the only like city in the area. Um, and no, going and seeing the ski slopes and seeing a Miracle on Ice, and it's actually I think that's where the U.S. Olympic figure skating team is headquartered at, and so is the men's and women's hockey team, I believe, is there, or it was there when I was there.
Yeah,
but they were doing figure skating practice, which is kind of cool.
That's pretty sweet. The Olympic team was?
Yeah, the Olympic team was because it was like
really
August, right before, they were competing. So yeah, it was really cool. And you can also go skating on that rink too. Apparently, it's like free. It's like, normal skating rink open to the public type thing.
Wow.
Yeah, even though it's an Olympic training center.
That's pretty good. At least they keep it open to the public. That's fun.
Yeah, and I'm sure I think Rosemary said that she went up there for a hockey tournament one time. Two of her three girls played hockey.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and I think one still plays hockey still. So, but as she tells people, she's a big hockey mom.
Okay. Well, Zach, you talked about my favorite president. Who is your favorite president?
So my favorite president, I mean, I definitely have a tie. Calvin Coolidge is certainly up there. Cool Cal, as they like to say. I mean, he didn't do a whole lot of things. He just went up. He did what he said he was going to do. He said he was going to balance the budget, and that's exactly what he did. He's actually, I think he's the only president from Vermont too, I believe.
That's a fun fact.
Yeah, it's interesting that you get a guy coming from, I believe he was Republican too, as a Republican from Vermont and 38th president. Nope, I lied. He's from Massachusetts. Okay, close enough.
On the border.
So that's my bad. Massachusetts, they're all small. I'm not gonna say anything bad because we're Jersey, but they're all small states up there. And so that's kind of interesting. You get a Republican governor from Massachusetts, and then you get a Republican president from Massachusetts. So that's kind of cool. Yeah. But yeah, Calvin Coolidge is up there. I know you talked about your guy, James Polk. I definitely in college I was part of this group called James Monroe Society, which I have to mad respect for James Monroe. Not necessarily the whole Monroe Doctrine necessarily, but that's kind of cool too. I'm not gonna lie, Monroe Doctrine is kind of cool. The idea of our it's foreign intervention, but it's not U.S. foreign intervention. It's more foreign protectionism.
Yeah, well, that's kind of why I like Polk too, because he continued it. I mean, Mexican-American War.
True.
Also, the Oregon Compromise, which established the current borders we have right now.
Yeah.
On the northwest side of the United States.
So yeah, I mean, James Monroe's up there for me. So is Teddy Roosevelt. I know Alex and I kind of agreed on that. Although I like Roosevelt because he's more of a Renaissance man at the end of the day.
Mm-hmm.
And then I do have to give a shout out to Martin Van Buren, the 8th president of the United States. A lot of people like to hate on him. But my mom grew up in upstate New York and grew up around the corner from the Van Buren family. So I think it's pretty cool to say, like I know the living relatives of the 8th president of the United States of America. Small flex.
Yep. No, it definitely is. I mean, it's more than me. So it's more than most people, actually.
Yeah, that is actually very true. So, it's pretty cool to see that stuff, and I definitely have to say that, that's Van Buren's cool. I know he didn't last a whole long, but he was cool. But Coolidge and Roosevelt, my two guys for the most part, I definitely would say take a lot of my influence from them and philosophy from them. So, yeah. And then with that, I think this is going to be pretty much it we're coming up on 20 minutes now. This is pretty much it for the pilot episode. We're going to be doing a couple more episodes today, Tyler, right? And we'll be, you guys be looking forward to hopefully seeing some of our content covering different news, politics, things going on in New Jersey. The whole show as a general, we really want to bridge the gap between, normal everyday people and those of us who are absolute political nerds, as I'll put it. And we like to basically have, we'll have cool guest speakers on. We'll try to have people from as much as we possibly can. We're going to try and do some more man on the street things and get involved and engaged in the community at the end of the day.
Yeah, absolutely. We have some big things planned for 2026. So definitely tune in this year.
Yes, it's gonna be cool. It's gonna be a lot of fun. So awesome. See you guys next time.